It's a moment. It's just all vibes. I'm just here for it. Hi, everybody. I've been listening to a book podcast, and they always talk about how they will save books for a certain season, a certain time of year, and or that they like to reread books that invoke a certain like summer vibe or winter vibe. And I've just never done that. Like, I just pick up a book that I'm interested in reading and read it. But I've heard it enough times. I'm intrigued, so I thought I would come up with a list of book recommendations that give me summer vibes, and then a TBR of books I haven't read that have that special, summer vibe or that take place during the summer, and see if it enhances my reading at all, if I have a more enjoyable experience if I read it at a certain time of year in coordination with the season. So let's give it a gander. So I have 4 books that I've read that I'll recommend that have summer vibes. So the first is My Lady's Choosing by Kitty Curran and Lysera Zagaris. And I think this would be such a fun summer read. Like the whole vibe for summer, for people who like do seasonal reading, from what I can gather, are books that are light, that are fun, that you don't have to think too deeply about. It's really time to indulge and relax and guilty pleasure read. And I think My Lady's Choosing fits all of that. So instead of a choose your own adventure, it's a choose your own romance. And it's so funny. It's so self-aware of its genre. The little narrator for the bottom bit for like choosing which path you're gonna take is so witty and fun, and the descriptions are over the top ridiculous, and like literally everyone is a romantic option in this book. And I think it'd just be so fun to read this like by the pool or on a beach, just soaking up the vibe, soaking up the sun. You can put it down, it's no big deal. It's not like a big brain energy kind of book. The next book I'd recommend is The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. Now, this is the pick that I chose that was the only one I could really find that really screams summer. Like, summer's even in the title. It takes place, I think, over one summer. There's like a back and forth between the narrator's like modern day and the summer in 1984, and it's about this like new boy who comes to town, and he's weird and unusual and a little bit magical seeming, and the town thinks he's evil and might be Satan incarnate. And it's about the main character as a young boy, his relationship with this outsider, and this one summer that changed everything for people. And this is one of the heavier reads, but I included it because it literally takes place during this like really hot summer. It's 5,000% the assignment. The next book I'd recommend is actually one I'm probably due for a reread because I read it back in high school, but I just remembered loving it so much. It's Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. And this is a road trip book, and there's a bit of romance in it, and I think it takes place during the summer. I could be wrong, but I just have such fond memories of this book. Like, it hit in the feels, but not in a super heavy way. I don't know, it just had summer vibes for me. And lastly, for books that I'm personally recommending, is Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances Mays. Italy vibes, it's like Italian villa vibe, it's like beautiful weather, nice company, good food, scenic descriptions of Italy. Not much in the way of plot because it's just like, it's a moment. It's just all vibes. And I think that's kind of what a summer read is. Like, it's just something you can dip in and out of, that you can just have a good time, but you don't really have to commit. You don't really have to put a lot of like brain power into it. You can just be like, and it is there just if you want it. And that's the moment. So those are the 4 that I'm recommending because I've read them, and I think after doing some digging and figuring out, I think those are the books I've read that are most summery. But then here are the 4 that are on my TBR that I might read this summer to an experiment on this whole seasonal reading moment. So obviously I can't say too much, but I'm going to list the 4 and you can tell me, am I right? Am I wrong? Or you can read them. Let me know. We have The Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver. It takes place over the course of one summer. It's about nature and the environment, and I think 3 different stories coalescing related to like the small farms of the Appalachia region. And it just seemed really interesting. Sounds like there might be a bit of romance, and I think it just hit in the feels. It just, you know, so it checks the list, right? You got takes place during the summer. You got the vibes of a bit of romance, bit of conflict, but not, you know, overwhelming. And yeah, even has a bit in the title. What more can you ask for? Next, we have Beach Read by Emily Henry. When I heard the summary for this book, I died. I'm like, that's amazing. I'm so excited for this book. I have such high hopes for it. It's about 2 writers that are in a writing slump, and they write very different genre of books. One writes more literary fiction where like they kill off all the characters. The other one writes romances. They end up having neighboring beach houses, and they decided on a challenge where the literary fiction person has to write a romance in 3 months, and the romance writer has to write a literary fiction piece. And I'm just here for it. That sounds so up my alley. I'm a little scared. It's so much up my alley. I'm so afraid it's not going to pan out, but and it's even called Beach Read. Like, how do you get more summery than that? So super excited about that. Definitely at the top of my list. Then we have Bridget Jones's Diaries by Helen Fielding. I have never read or watched this series because I don't like cringe humor. I get secondhand cringe too bad. Like, it just, ooh, the embarrassment hurts my soul. But I feel like this is a like mainstream, like stereotypical like summer read. It was like a little bit of romance, a little bit of a goofy main character, not too serious, a little bit funny. You can pick it up, put it down, not a big deal. Don't have to get overly invested, kind of speed read. And we'll see. We'll see. I think it's a good pick for a summer read if you're not me. So there's that. And last, we have Princess Bride by William Goldman. And again, you have romance, you have adventure, you have just a fun story. And I think that's at the heart of summer reads. It's just whatever you find fun and it doesn't feel like effort to you, I think that's a summer read. And of course the other elements are fun, like if it takes place during the summer or if there's a romance, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, it's just whatever you find like, and now it's summertime and you have the chance to like binge read something. You can be a little naughty, stay up too late. That's the vibe. That's the moment. And I can definitely use that in my life. You know, even though I don't get the summers off anymore, I think we can all benefit from having a moment of like, screw productivity, screw late stage capitalism. It's just me and the silly ass book that isn't going to earn me any brownie points because I read it. That's the summer I want to live. So tell me down below, have you read any of these books? Would you consider them summer reads? What are your summer reading list? And have summer vibes? Again, I don't really read for the season. Do you? Do you recommend it? Let me know down below. And until next time.